Hello, and welcome to Popcorn News. Something to watch while you eat popcorn. And gone are Phidias's famous ivories, and all the golden grasshoppers and bees. The first Balkan War lasted from October 1912 to May 1913. The Second Balkan War broke out when Bulgaria attacked Serbia and Greece in June of 1913. The Third Balkan War lasted from October 3rd, 1915 to November 20th, 1915. In that Third Balkan War, Ottoman-controlled Thrace was invaded jointly by Bulgaria and Greece. Here you can hopefully see Thrace. War is how Americans learn geography. And now we have some idea where Thrace used to be. It was Ottoman-controlled Thrace at the time of the Third Balkan War. Ottoman is the dwindled remnants of what we now call Turkey. There used to be an Ottoman Empire larger than what we now know as Turkey. So what's the big deal about the three Balkan Wars? The big deal is that the Balkan Wars were the prelude to the First World War. A fellow called Thierry Meisen is dividing the ongoing Syrian war into three phases, just like the three Balkan Wars of about 100 years ago. Does Thierry Meisen realize the subtext of his dividing the Syrian war into three phases? Is he unconsciously connecting the three phases of the Syrian war with the three Balkan wars? Meisen gives the start date of the Third Syrian War as November 20th, 2015. And it was exactly 100 years before this, November 20th, 1915, that there ended the Third Balkan War. Balkan-Syria parallels. Another parallel. During the time of the Great Depression, between 10 million and 13 million persons were unemployed. In October 2009, 15 million persons were unemployed, a higher number than during even the Great Depression. Currently, that number of unemployed persons is about 8 million. The Federal Reserve has failed. Look at the numbers. Between 10 and 13 million unemployed during the Great Depression. Between 8 and 15 million unemployed during the Great Recession. The Fed tells us it would have been so much worse except for its intervention. But even if this unproven statement is granted, still the Federal Reserve has failed. The numbers from the Great Depression are comparable with the current Great Recession numbers. Back in the time of the Great Depression, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt clung to the idea of private bankers creating money, even though throughout that time, Roosevelt had statutory power to issue fiat money in the form of greenbacks printed by the government without recourse to the banks. Yet FDR doggedly stayed with the idea of creating money through private bankers, and it didn't work. The Great Depression dragged on throughout the 1930s. These are parallels. The three Balkan wars leading to the First World War, and the three Syrian wars leading possibly to World War III. Also, another parallel. The failure of the Federal Reserve to defeat the Great Depression and the current failure of the Fed to defeat the Great Recession. Reading other signs he had found, Alex Jones of Infowars.com on November 28, 2015, issued an emergency alert. Jones fears we are on the verge of world war.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Jones here with an emergency alert. The date is November 28th, 2015, on this Saturday. I have just spent at least the last 5 hours in deep research, as well as multiple hours last night, detailing and breaking down and fact-checking what I'm about to tell you. The clock's ticking till the Russians respond, folks. The clock's ticking till the Russians fire some of these anti-aircraft missiles, these SAMs, at a NATO-backed, NATO member country that is Turkey. This is unprecedented. And top former CIA analyst Robert Baer and many others are saying this is starting World War IV. World War III was the Cold War and proxy wars, and leading up to now is still part of World War III, is what analysts call it. World War IV is a big one between NATO, the United States, and Russia. And NATO is starting the fights in Ukraine and in Syria with Russia, starting the conflicts in both countries. Doesn't mean Russia's perfect, but Russia is not in an expansionist mode. The West is, run by the very same globalists that have crippled our future. I want to take you back here outside the war room and go over these facts. Let's go in here. Again, it is a Saturday evening, ladies and gentlemen, Saturday afternoon. We're breaking this down. This is a total maximum emergency alert because you noticed a few months ago I put out total alerts. The video's got millions of views where I documented how the elites are stockpiling food, weapons, moving to the Cook Islands, moving to New Zealand, moving to armored redoubts in places like the Ozark Mountains. I mean, I talked to a lot of high-level people. You heard it here first, but now it's in the news that the elites are digging in. Now, I'm not saying World War III or World War IV is coming. I'm saying the climate is the worst it's ever been for this. Top generals are saying it. Top analysts are saying it.
Is Alex Jones correct? Are we on the brink of world war? We shall see. The signs are there. But maybe we can be smart enough this time to avoid repeating past mistakes. Thank you for watching Popcorn News. Violence upon the roads. Violence of horses. Some few have handsome riders, are garlanded on delicate, sensitive ear or tossing mane, but wearied, running round and round in their courses, all break and vanish, and evil gathers head. Herodias's daughters have returned again, a sudden blast of dusty wind, and after thunder of feet, tumult of images, their purpose in the labyrinth of the wind.